Hey, it's Nick.
And Angela.
And we're here with our weekly Stream Squad broadcast.
Hey, I'm here too.
Yeah, Dan's here.
I'm always just behind the camera, so.
We didn't forget about you, but I'm glad you jumped in.
Yeah.
Going to be going over some industry news, strategy, looking at some videos made with Switcher. Got some good stuff lined up for this week. Going to kick things off with some of the new iPhone rumors. So, recently we talked about the new Apple speaker that's coming out and some of the code that's floating around so you can develop and integrate with that speaker has some secrets on it that makes it look like facial recognition might be a new feature on the iPhone 8 for login. So there's been rumors about what's the button called?
The
home button?
ID button, yeah.
The home ID button. In recent versions, the iPhone 7 Plus, it's you don't physically press down the button. It's just built into the case. So that was a big change. There was a lot of rumblings about that when it first happened. It's not quite as tactile. And some of the new rumors on the iPhone 8 is that the screen will be from edge to edge. And so speculating that they're finding a way to put the home button under the screen. But there's been a lot of supply chain issues that are also rumored about the iPhone 8 that they might not ship as early as they normally do, and it could be as early as January of 2018 before they're available. So this is all speculation. It's coming from a lot of different sources. But with the new Apple speaker that Apple is hyping, looks like facial recognition might be a way that you can log in.
Yeah, I've seen a bunch of reports that the fingerprint sensor that a lot of people use is going away with the home button going away. And facial recognition is taking over. One thing I thought of as soon as it said that was, how well is it going to work? How well is it going to recognize you? But a lot of newer reports that are coming out say if it is indeed facial recognition, they're working on ways where it can detect, even just half of your face. Or if you're in bed at night, it can see, kind of in the dark almost.
Yeah.
So hopefully, if there's facial recognition, it sounds like they're trying to streamline it where you don't have to have the same angle and hairstyle every day to get it to work.
I haven't thought about that.
Yeah,
The features now.
Do you have to have good lighting? Are you going to have to hold your phone in front of your face? I mean, there's times I use my phone just to check the time, and I guess you can see that without really hitting the home button. But if you want to be sneaky about it, you might have to just throw your phone up in front of you. Maybe it has chin detection too. You can just do the
chin.
Just a little chin.
How often you mentioned picking up your phone and checking the time? How often do you do that and then immediately forget what time it is?
Oh,
That's
every
a
time.
constant for me.
100% of the time.
Good. I'm glad that's not just me who does that.
I'll check it and it'll register in my head for that second, and then someone 2 seconds later is like, "What time is it?" And I have to check it again because I've already forgotten.
So some of the other things that we briefly hit on with the iPhone 8 rumors is that it's possible it could be an edge-to-edge display, that the screen might actually extend up into the camera and the area where the home button normally would be on your phone. Could present some interesting UI challenges for products like Switcher Studio. Could be something that's black-barred and you just don't use that space. It could be something where there's new utilities and information that could be showed in that extra space that could be available on the screen. So be interesting to see what happens there. We're going to play a fun little game here. We can get you all to jump in the comments also. Apple's going to do whatever they want to do. They've had this thing planned out for years, and it sounds like there's things that Steve Jobs was even involved with that are going to be implemented in the new iPhone. But what's your wish list? What do you want to see in the new iPhone? I know Angela and I have a few, so you want to start with?
Yeah, I think the number one in our entire office, I want my headphone jack back.
3.5 is not dead.
Whenever people ask if they should get an iPhone 7, I say 99% yes, but you're going to lose the headphone jack, and you're not going to realize how important that jack was until you need it a lot. So that's my wish list. I just want the headphone jack to come back.
Yeah, so with something like Switcher, if you want to use external audio or a microphone, and you had an adapter that used the headphone jack, you're going to have to use another adapter with the iPhone 7 and maybe with the new iPhone as well to get it into the Lightning port. But that's part of Apple's game. There's Apple adapters for everything, for Ethernet, for USB. We went from 30-pin to Lightning, so we have a bag that's just full of adapters, and that's how it works. So That would be awesome, but I'm not holding my breath.
I don't think it's coming back.
Maybe they'll throw in some free AirPods. I say free. You would be paying for them, I'm sure.
A pair of AirPods would be nice.
There are also rumors that there may be different versions of the iPhone, that there might be a super fancy, expensive version that is more powered than some of the others. So
I heard for that one it could be about like 1,000 or so.
Oh, wow.
They're reporting, yeah, and then there'll be two smaller kind of. I'm thinking more like how is the 5S, 5C, like the big fancy will be the 5S type, and then they would have the smaller ones. So see what happens with that.
So Nick, is your wish list just the headphone jack too, or is there anything else you want to see?
I mean, okay, so one I'm real upset about, it's not even a wish list. This goes back to the rumors. I've seen mock-ups that show the two cameras that are on the iPhone 7 being stacked. So instead of side by side, being one on top of the other. So if that's the case, there's a lot of cases and accessories out there that are not going to work on the new phone, even with the dual lens piece. So there's some interesting things you can do from a technology standpoint once we start tapping into the dual camera. But changing the orientation and the placement on the camera has always been a little frustrating from one version of iPhone to the next, especially if you're using accessories or cases or tripod mounts. So just a heads up, that's one to be on the lookout for. Nothing's really confirmed yet. Likely Apple will have their keynote in September, so we'll learn more then.
One other thing I've seen is it's rumored they're going to go back to the glass screen that they have with, I think, the 4S instead of what they've been using ever since then. So I've seen a lot of places they might go back to the glass model, as well as updating all of the graphics so things look more realistic, but it'll be interesting to see how the glass pans out with everything. To me, I think about how often I drop my phone, and I'm a little worried about that.
So I think that's a wrap on Apple rumors. If there's anybody in the comments would love to hear your thoughts and your wish list, and we can jump to those later in the show.
Mm-hmm.
But keep them coming.
Yeah. Real quick from some of the comments here, we got Dana says hi. Oscar gives us a thumbs up. Mike Smith was asking how the Switcher Studio training classes are coming along. So I think we should have some exciting information about that pretty soon.
Yeah, so we are working on a Switcher certification program, be an online course where you can see videos and write-ups and tutorials on how to use all of the different features in Switcher, and we'll also have some segments on that kind of do a deep dive into audio and networking and lighting and some other things that can play into your productions. And by completing the certification program, it's something that you could put on your LinkedIn account or using your resume, and know that you've kind of gone through the steps to really understand the potential and all the things that are possible with Switcher Studio. So working on it and making some good progress there. Should hopefully see that later this year.
For sure. Yeah, and then just Jimmy also is in the comments, and Eric as well. So hello, guys. Thanks for tuning in and checking us out. Glad you're here. But yeah, if you want to move on to some other industry news, I think that'd be great.
Yeah, so one of the other things we were going to talk about is 360 video on Facebook. So Angela, I'll let you.
Yeah, so they've made a lot of updates to the 360 video, and the biggest one is now 4K video is going to be supported with 360 video. So everything's going to be a lot clearer. They're also adding in a donate feature for 360 video. So I'm really excited to see what's going to come from that, especially I noticed around late last year there were quite a few, and they've kind of trickled out. I haven't seen them in my newsfeed as often. I think this is going to give that big boost to bring 360 video everywhere at that point.
And on the donate feature, I think initially that is going to be limited to certified nonprofits and organizations. If you're registered on Facebook as a nonprofit, you should have that option available. I think also in the analytics, they're going to start showing hotspots. So where you've got this wraparound 360 view from an analytics perspective, you might be able to see where people are looking inside of your video. So some interesting things happening there.
And also for anyone who does a lot of things with VR, I think it's the Samsung VR that Facebook is going to partner their 360 video with. So you'll be able to use it with that. Oculus Rift is not going to be available just yet, but the Samsung VR will work with the 4K
Okay, that's
360
interesting.
video.
Oculus
Yeah.
is a Facebook product.
That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking. Yeah, that's interesting.
One of the other things we want to talk about last week was Facebook's Q2 keynote, and there was some news right from the source, and Mark Zuckerberg on stage talking about what's working for Facebook and where their priorities are going forward. I saw a really awesome stream last week that was kind of a recap from Facebook's Q2 report from Mari Smith. We reached out to Mari, and she gave us permission to show some clips from her video.
Yeah.
We'll
Let me
throw a
put that
link
in.
in the comments, but that's a really good place to go and get kind of the highlights from that Facebook roundup and some of the things
So, yeah,
happening.
there's
with Facebook
Mari
Live.
there on the left.
Some of the things Mari noted from Facebook's keynote, Mark Zuckerberg said, video will be a much bigger driver of what we'll do over the next 3 years, 2 to 3 years, than Messenger and WhatsApp. So from a monetization standpoint and as far as visibility within the Facebook platform and products, it sounds like video is going to be a really big focus. And I think the way we use Facebook and interact with it and what we see in the newsfeed is probably going to change over the next few years because of those initiatives. One of the other things that was brought up in this earnings report was Facebook's emphasis on groups and communities. Mark Zuckerberg has been doing this tour around the U.S. and going to different cities and states around the country and talking with people to learn about their frustrations and the things that really motivate them and drive them. And that there are even some rumors that maybe he's gearing up for a presidential bid, but he's denied those time after time. I think from what we've seen, he just really wants to connect with people and understand what's valuable to them and how they can make Facebook a good platform where people can be and have those conversations and interact with their communities. And so through that, Facebook groups is also going to be a big focus for Facebook over the next few years, and really finding ways to help communities come together and people share information. So I think initially we saw Facebook was for college students, and it was a lot of posts about individuals and me, and it's been opened up to the whole world now, and it's being used differently. And what's happening within Facebook groups is really cool, and it's really cool to see Facebook knows that and put more resources behind it. So one of the big stats that came out of that from Mari's presentation is that there are over 100 million meaningful Facebook groups today. And they use the word meaningful, which I thought was interesting. So there's way more, but 100 million groups where people are actively involved and working together and contributing information. Using Switcher to stream within your Facebook group is a great way to connect with everybody and open it up for engagement. You can also do posts, you can donate, you can search groups. There's a lot of new things coming to groups in Facebook. So we just thought that was a really cool takeaway.
Really quick, if I can just step in and just let
For sure.
everybody know that I love the questions we're getting in here and whatnot. We will get to those at the end if we have time, and if not, we will jump in the comments and get them. But really quick, Mike, those training that we talked about earlier, that will be free. But yeah, I just wanted to address that one quickly, and just let people know that.
More than likely, it will be free. We'll be using a third party or a service to make it a good experience. It could be that there's some cost associated with that, but we're not looking to make money off of the certification program. So there might be some costs that are built in to be able to access it, but it's not going to be thousands of dollars to do a Switcher certification program. We want it to be something that anybody can use. So great question. A last note on this industry piece before we move on. Mari Smith's presentation and the Q2 wrap-up was really good. We'll get that link in the comments. Would definitely recommend checking that out. We led with, over the next 2 to 3 years, video is going to be a much bigger driver for Facebook. And there was a slide that Mari had. Dan, do we have that where we can bring it up?
I do.
Where Mari gave a breakdown of downstream bandwidth for different streaming services. So this is video that's being consumed or watched by people online. And Netflix is really high up on the list. I think, are they in the number one spot?
Yeah, they're 35.2%.
And yeah, if you can just walk through that real quick.
Yeah, so Netflix is at the 35.2, YouTube 17.5, Amazon 4.3, and then Facebook 1.9, as you can see there.
Yeah. So Facebook at 2% of video consumption, relative to some of the other players, is a really small number. And we've only really seen video on Facebook take off in the past couple of years. So with them putting a big emphasis on video, I would expect that number to go way up. We're all consuming more content anyways, but with Facebook prioritizing it, showing it in the news feed, even talking about creating some of their own shows, I think Facebook is going to move to one of the top spots on that chart there. So Netflix is doing a great job. They're killing it. It's awesome for movies and licensed material, and they're even creating some of their own programming and content. It took me a few guesses to figure out who would be number 2 or 3. So Amazon and Hulu being up there is really cool. But I would say with Facebook's emphasis on video, expect them to be a bigger player in the space of downstream bandwidth and videos watched.
And I think that's already starting to transition into, a lot of creators and businesses' thought process. A lot of groups and pages that I'm in on Facebook, the talk for the past couple of years, ever since the algorithm for Facebook pages changed, was how do I get my content out there? And repeatedly over the past couple of, really especially weeks, but kind of months, they're really driving home, hey, Facebook's prioritizing video and live video. If you guys want your stuff out there, go live or put a video up, don't just put a picture up. So as that's going forward to content creators, to different businesses, I think that's going to increase even more of that video consumption so people can get their message out there.
Yeah. So we're going to jump over to strategy. Wanted to kick things off with some YouTube related topics. Angela noticed something with the YouTube URLs.
Yes.
So I wanted to talk on that for a little bit.
Everyone should do this.
Yeah, it definitely helps out a lot. So as most people know, when you go onto your YouTube account and you go to your own channel, it's usually youtube.com/ and then it's a bunch of numbers and letters. It's nothing you can quickly give someone out the way you can for Facebook or Twitter. Well, now there's a way to get your own URL and other customization.
It's like a vanity URL.
Yeah, when you're on your channel and you're seeing your actual channel view, at the top click on Video Manager and it'll show you all the videos you've got uploaded. On the side there's going to be a menu bar with different options about analytics, but one will say channel or channel info. When you click on that, it's going to show you about 20 squares, and in each square will describe something you can do for your channel, whether you're... Oh, you got it up?
Yeah, let me put that up for everybody.
Yeah. And it'll show whether you're eligible or ineligible. If you're ineligible, it'll tell you why. And you can choose to opt in if you're eligible and haven't done it. So what I did a couple of days ago on the Switcher Studio YouTube channel, I was able to see channel URL. We were eligible. I think you need 50 or 100 subscribers, so it's not as many to get started with that. And you can choose from about 4 or 5 pre-made URLs based on your channel name and channel content, or you can do a custom one. So now if you go to youtube.com/C for channel /Switcher Studio, it's a direct link to our page instead of the gibberish that was previously there. And this is something all channels can do. Again, go to your channel, click on Video Manager, click on Channel, see what you're eligible for, and go ahead and do that. It's going to help your channel performance a lot. And keep an eye on it, use it to make more goals, and that way when you hit another milestone, you're able to go through and do some more updates to that channel.
And on that topic, if you go to youtube.com/features, that page is going to show a dashboard where you can enable different features and utilities within Facebook. Some of those will be tied to those milestones, like access to Super Chat. If you're doing live video and using Switcher for the first time, you do have to have live video enabled on your YouTube account first. We've had reports of some users that will start a Switcher account, go to link YouTube, and they get stuck on a loading white screen that it never moves past. In most cases, it's because they don't have live video enabled on YouTube. In some cases, YouTube is just slow with that process for enabling videos. So if you go to youtube.com/features It's a really easy dashboard where you can enable live video, you can enable embedding for live video if you want to put those on your web page or on WordPress or a blog. And it's a good place to see what the milestones are and goals that you can maybe work towards to enable some more of those YouTube features. So again, that's youtube.com/features. Make sure you have live video enabled before you go into Switcher Studio. Gonna move on from strategy, user group happenings. So Carlos posted in the user group recently, and he did a great tutorial on using Pixlr to make lower thirds. I think Dan's got an example, but Angela, do you want to talk a little bit about what Carlos has put together for us?
Sure. So one question I get all the time is, how do I create lower thirds? It's something that's great to use on a video, but if it's your first time, it's a matter of how you get started. There's a lot of different programs that are available. One of my favorites, and one of Carlos's as well, is Pixlr. It's like a kind of simplified version of Adobe Photoshop. It's available for free online at pixlr.com, and Carlos has gone through and shown how he creates lower thirds with a tutorial that you can use yourself to create the lower thirds as well, and you're able to upload those straight into Switcher Studio to use during your broadcast. The good thing about Pixlr is you do get to create an online account, so that way once you've made one lower third, it's really easy to save that file for free and then go back in and you're able to update, the names, the titles, anything like that without starting from scratch. So we love seeing what users do, how they use Switcher, how they use features, and we're definitely happy that Carlos made this great video that now we get to share with all of you guys.
Awesome. And also Carlos is starting to do some video production in his community and branding and graphics for other people. If you're in the Switcher Studio group, that's Switcher Studio Enthusiasts on Facebook, check him out. I think he's got a link to his page so you can see what he's doing, and maybe it's something where he can help you out or answer some questions if you need help.
Shout out to Carlos too. I'm showing the Pixlr video right now on his YouTube, but shout out to him for figuring out how to do a scoreboard overlay. That just popped up this morning where someone was asking how to do a scoreboard overlay in Switcher, and he is creating a template in Keynote, I think it was, and then cropping the video down to that size and using that as almost like an overlay, and it's really cool.
That's awesome. So using the screen sharing and updating scores from his computer inside of Switcher Studio. So that actually brings up two cool things that we're working on. Windows screen sharing is coming soon. Starting to see some demos from our dev team, and hopefully getting a little closer to putting out a public beta for you all to test and take a look at. There will be problems. We're expecting that. There's a lot of different types of computers out there, but it's also working pretty well on some of our test machines. So that'll be pretty cool to have Windows support for the screen sharing. We're also working on lower thirds and in-app live text templates. So we'll have a few presets for lower thirds or full screen graphics where you can go in and change the color or change the text and do those on the fly inside of Switcher if you're not able to prep those ahead of time and do the custom branding that you would through Canva or Pixlr or one of the other services that you might be using to build those graphics. So last thing we wanted to hit on are some videos that were made with Switcher. I think we've got an example we're going to pull up this week, but I did want to note, I got a call earlier from Dave Basulto out at SIGGRAPH. Not sure I'm saying that right. It's a really long acronym for a really cool conference. We should probably Google that real quick. I want to know what it stands for. SIGGRAPH.
Okay.
S-I-G-G.
Well, I can't Google that right now because I'm going to put that. I'm going to put the video up.
Okay.
Or the picture up.
Well, if anyone knows in the comments, please share. And Randy Altman from Post Perspective, which is an online resource that talks about the video industry, is doing some interviews there with people from Adobe and Blackmagic and big brands. We actually had the opportunity to team up with Randy at NAB this past year, and I think we also did it the year before. So they're out at this conference and doing some video and ended up setting up Switcher Studio today for their broadcast. So saw a post they floated out on Instagram. Just wanted to share that with you all. And doing some pretty cool stuff there. Dan has a link for a playlist that Randy and Post Perspective did with Switcher at NAB. So we could probably get the link for that to share out with people as well.
You ready, Nick?
What's that?
Okay. SIGGRAPH short for Special Interest Group on Computer Graphic and Interactive Techniques.
Oh, wow.
Is the name of the annual conference on computer graphics.
Is there a pronunciation? I'm still not sure I'm saying it right.
I don't see that.
Well,
I'll keep searching for that while you talk about our other
Well,
hashtag Maple Switcher.
We'll roll with it. So the other reference point we wanted to make this week, we always love looking at our customer videos and the things that people are doing. One of the big topics that's come up lately is selling on Facebook. So taking products that your business might offer or services and educating people, doing sales and specials, showing new products. And Stephen Brown Art is one of our customers that's doing some really cool stuff with
Yeah.
Switcher for selling products online. So Angela, you want to talk a little bit about Robert, who's been running their productions and what they're doing over there?
Sure. So our main point of contact with Stephen Brown Art is Robert Hamilton. He's also in the user group. He's been great with posting, different tips and tricks, but he also helps to direct all of Stephen Brown Art's videos. So we've been in touch with him. He's doing a lot of really cool stuff using Switcher Studio, but we have an example of one of their videos today to show you guys.
Yeah, that's going on right now, right next to.
Awesome.
Right next to.
Right
you.
next to us.
So in these broadcasts, there's artwork that Stephen Brown's produced that they've put on products. They have suitcases and prints
Yeah.
and T-shirts. I think they recently did a
Like a
giveaway.
yeah.
They had a
Like a large suitcase is the one.
they had a
that
wrap made for a car, and they were giving a car away.
Oh, wow.
And so it was this big month-long campaign. I think Robert, jump in the comments and let us know if we're off base here. But they used the live video to promote this big giveaway that they were doing and some of the other products that they offer. And it was just awesome fan engagement. It was awesome visually and a really good use of Switcher, the multi-camera component, the graphics, the overlays. And it's an awesome example of how you can sell on Facebook. So we're looking to see how other people are doing this and what the format or formula is, and if there's things that we can do within our product and within Switcher Studio to make that a better experience for everyone. One tip and trick that we noticed recently is that during a live broadcast while it's in progress, you can actually pin comments. And as a creator, you can also comment on your own videos. So using the comment function on Facebook Live, you could put in a link or a call to action for where you want people to go or the product you want them to buy and pin that post during your live video so that it's more prominent for people that are watching and they know where to go to act on whatever product you're selling. So we're going to document that. We got a good blog post coming up soon. I'm going to be talking more about how to sell on Facebook Live. But I think that's the wrap for this week.
Really quick, I just want to do a shout out to the chair that they're using on that set.
Yeah,
That was
they
the same
found our
one as ours.
chairs.
Yeah, so in this broadcast from Stephen Brown, they've got a really cool set, and it was kind of funny. It's the chairs they have in their set is the same chair that we picked up for
VidCon,
VidCon, and that was out in LA, California. So I think that was IKEA. You can build a set and have something that looks really professional without spending a lot of money. Just giving it a little bit of a look. We have our lovely llama lamp here, and I'm sure there's more we could do to spruce this up, but it's a little nicer than just sitting in a folding chair or with just something hanging up behind you. And
It's just like a generic background. This one.
I think there's a post Whitney's been working on that's how to build a set, and we've got a few more of those in the pipeline as well. So that's an ongoing topic and something that we'll be talking more about here at Switcher.
And one last thing before we wrap, we're kind of tight on time. We got a couple meetings coming up here. That's why we're only going a half an hour today. But there were some good questions in the comments, and I will be happy to jump in there and answer those ones as soon as we're done here. Just wanted to do that before we wrap. Just let everyone know that your questions will be answered.
Awesome. One last note before we do close out today, for people that are already using Switcher, make sure you're in the user group Switcher Studio Enthusiasts. It's a really awesome community. You can see examples of videos other people are creating, ask questions, and get help from the Switcher community. If you get stuck and you have a technical question, you can check out our knowledge base, our Get Started videos, or email support@switcherstudio.com. And if you're just getting started, give us a shout. Let us know how we can help. We want to make sure you are successful. So you can learn more about Switcher at switcherstudio.com, and we'll be back next week, same time, same place. Talk soon.
See you guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.